Lou here. Now some of you may or may not know, but Hitoshizuku-P is one of my favorite Vocaloid producers. Since he is my favorite, I thought I'd talk about the top 10 favorite songs from Hitoshizuku-P. Just a warning though, he does ship Rin and Len in some of these songs, but keep in mind that in the songs, he does not ship them as twins. They're completely different people who are not actually meant to be Rin and Len. Also, Rin and Len are not actually twins. They are quite literally whatever you want them to be, even though I personally view them as twins, but that's just me. Another little disclaimer is that due to YouTube's copyright, I can't play the actual songs themselves in the video, or else this video gets blocked worldwide, or someone who lives under the A in Atlantic can see it. However, I can play the instrumental as the background music without a problem, so the instrumental will be in the background as I talk about the song. Alright, with all those disclaimers out the way, roll the intro and let's get started. At number 10, we have Alluring Secret, Black Vow. Now this is one I think is honestly a genius use of Rin and Len's concept as mirror images in a story. Like many early Vocaloid songs, Rin and Len could have used some tuning, but this was their Act 2 voice banks used, which were already a pain in the ass to use according to many users of Rin and Len Act 2, but this song is still incredible. The story is about an angel, played by Rin, who falls in love with a bride in black, played by Miku. They love each other desperately, but they can't be together because Rin's character is an angel who's immortal, so she sacrifices one of her wings and disappears. The bride in black on her wedding day discovers a handsome boy who looks like the angel she fell in love with, so she runs away with him where they become lovers and vow to marry each other. As we find out in the song, Len's character is the angel who sacrificed her wing to turn into a human. This angered the angel's ex-lover who killed the bride in black in a fit of jealous rage. To save the love of her life, the angel sacrifices her final wing to revive the bride, only to die. It's as the angel fades away that the bride realizes that this boy she fell in love with was the angel all along, which leaves her alone in her sobs, desperately wishing she could have told her how she felt. Also, there's a sequel that talks more about the bride's grief and regrets, but I'm gonna be honest, that song's not all that great. However, what makes this song truly genius is the way it blends the concept of an angel switching genders or being androgynous and using Rin and Len's concept as being mirrored images in a perfect way. There's also a light novel for this that apparently explains the angel's inner torment of being in a body she doesn't feel like she belongs in and being unable to tell the bride who she is, but I've yet to read it, and apparently it's not translated into English, so... At number 9, we have The Apocalypse 13th. This is a part of a song series he made where he basically retold classic fairy tales, and this one is his adaptation of Sleeping Beauty with a very unique twist. This one's pretty great on a music and vocal side. You can hear the agency and passion the song is mixing together, and it's pretty great. The only thing I think makes it meh is simply that this song has a huge twist that I wish he could have delved more into, but he never did, so I'm salty. Also, I'm not too big a fan of fairy tale songs, mostly because fairy tales tend to be a little oversaturated, even if Little Mermaid by 4124 featuring Luca is a classic. The song is about a prince who dreams of a princess. The two fall in love in their dreams, and he vows to meet her in the real world to awaken her, but she keeps warning him that they should never meet. He finds her like he does in the original fairy tale, but the twist is that she's cursed to be a demonic creature when she wakes up that'll cause an apocalypse. She's the 13th one of dozens of other princesses who will destroy the world if anyone wakes them up. The prince wants to protect the girls, so they both embrace each other as they jump off the tower to their deaths, thus preventing the end of the world. As you can see, it leaves a lot to be explored since she's the 13th one, and it makes me very curious about the world this is in, and I want to see like the other 12. So it leaves me very curious, and I'm salty he never delved into it. At number 8, we have Bad End Night. Although Bad End Night and its series is an absolute classic, the truth is that I find the original song is in desperate need of a remastering. Hitoshizuku-P's tuning has advanced so much from this song, and Kaito V3 and Meiko V3 would sound absolutely incredible in this song. Not only that, but the story is a little lacking in this one because it is so confusing. Yes, by the way, I know there is a light novel for Bad and Night that explains the story a lot better, but I'm not really too interested, to be honest. The story is basically about Miku's character wanting to become an actress, but she's sucked into the world of the play she's supposed to be acting in, where the story repeats itself over and over and over again because the final page of the script was never revealed. And then something about an understudy too, but I have no idea if the understudy is a metaphor or what. The other songs in the series are pretty great. I just feel like Bad and Night really needs a remaster to really shine. At number 7, we have Sunflower of Parting Regrets. This song is absolutely gorgeous. This is a short one, or at least it feels short, and is genuinely one of the most relatable Vocaloid songs for a lot of people out there. I know he usually talks about fantasy stories, but this one hits reality for a lot of people, at least from what I've read about how people feel about the song, and I can't help but love it for how well he wrote this story. So the story in the song is about a brother and sister who are very close. There's a war going on for some time now, and it killed their father, which resulted in their mother taking her own life. So they've been on their own for a really long time. One day, the sister finds out that her brother has been drafted into the army and begs for her brother not to go, but he has no choice. He tells his sister to keep smiling and to remain strong, and she cries to him saying that she'll never forgive him if he doesn't come home safe and sound. Yeah, so the brother dies in the war, because he's sung by Len in this song, but she did as she asked and kept moving forward in life. Every anniversary of his death, she plants his favorite sunflowers to honor him and keep his memory alive. It's a really sad song, but I also really love it. At number 6, we have Blessed Messiah and the Tower of I. First of all, legendary. Second, this song is incredible. The fantasy tunes of this song make it sound so triumphant, and like it's a story of friendship. And it is, in a way. The way everything blends so wonderfully, it just makes it sound so amazing. You'd never think 10 Vocaloids is even possible in a song, but trust me, it is, and it sounds amazing. The story is also super fucked up, too. The world has fallen into ruin due to pollution, and the land was dying. A woodcutter's daughter was chosen to take 9 blessings and restore the world back to life. Her best friends don't want her to do this alone, so they all come with her because they're all close and they love each other dearly. Yet it seems all her best friends betrayed her by taking the blessings for themselves. It's only when she has no blessings to give when she reaches the top of the tower that she realizes the truth of this tower. These blessings were actually curses, and all her friends did this purposefully to prevent her to suffer from these curses. Some died being repeatedly struck by lightning, others frozen in ice, and some burning for eternity. Realizing her friends did this to protect her, she realizes this is not a tower of I as in love, but a tower of I as in darkness. This causes the world to reset now that they all sacrificed themselves, but it's said in the song that all this pain will repeat again to save the world from dying. If that's not messed up, I don't know what is. At number 5, we have Nemesis of a Ruined Kingdom. This is a super underrated song in my opinion. The music reminds me of games like Fire Emblem, to be honest, and Rin and Len's voices just blend so incredibly well in this. I just love it. I just really love when Hitoshizuku-P makes his own fantasy like this a lot more than I do the fairy tale stuff. The story is about a prince and princess from different kingdoms at war. Len's character's father was murdered from this war, and Rin's character lost her mother from it. They meet and both vow to never cause a tragic and deadly war like this when they bury the dead together. Yet as they grow older, they forget about this meeting, and their hatred repeats the history they witnessed, and now they're at war with each other. It's only when they meet in person again do they realize the promise they made, and they duel it out until one of them fulfills that promise they made to get revenge for their parent. I really like this. It shows that in a way, history has a way of repeating itself, and the tragedy of their characters reminds me a lot of classic books I grew up reading, so it's pretty good stuff. At number 4, we have Synchronicity. I have beaten to death the Synchronicity series already, so I'll finally shut up about it here, but my gosh, I love this series. The way these songs tell such an epic fantasy tale with so much lore and care put into it that I hope someday he remasters these or someone makes an anime for it. Please, seriously, someone make an anime for it. The story is about a dragon who will wake up to kill everyone, but they figure out that there's a special young woman every few years called a diva who can sing the dragon to sleep to make peace. The problem is that the dragon will eventually kill them, or the girl will die of exhaustion from singing every day for years on end. Rin's character is a diva who was stolen from birth for the purpose of singing to this dragon, but she had a brother, Len's character. He hears her sing to him in his dreams, so he vows to follow her voice and save his sister from such a cruel death. Gakupo's character joins him, whose mother was also a diva. Kaito's character, who's very different from other characters Kaito has played, where he's a sly merchant character. And Meiko's character, whose ex-girlfriend or something, was played by Teto's character, who was also a diva who died. They journey together with cameos from all kinds of utao and Vocaloids like Ruko Yokone, and in the end, Rin and Len's characters work together to defeat the dragon who was actually a diva who was cursed. Played by Miku, by the way. And the ending is ambiguous, so we actually have no idea if they lived or died. Overall, I love this song series. It's amazing. At number 3, we have The Dream the Girl Doll Dreamed. As you all know, I love dolls, so it's very clear I would love this song already. And I especially love the themes presented in this song. It's just super interesting, and I love how Rin and Len's voices flow together so perfectly. This is easily one of the best flowing Rin and Len duets. Well, you'll see which one's the best when we get to number 1. The song is about a doll who fell in love with her creator, but her creator only made her to be a vision of what he thinks humanity should be, as repeated heartbreak made him feel like just giving up on humanity. Also, you know, she's a doll, so he just sees her as a pretty doll. Yet the doll stands there, looks at her creator, fine with her unrequited love, as she knows that he does love her in his own way since he created her. Well, I suppose it's sad. It's a lot more fascinating than it is sad. There's a lot of interesting things to think about with this song regarding themes of unrequited love and basically falling in love with a higher being or something like that. It's just super interesting to me. At number 2, we have Alice in New York. The beat of this song, the jamming beat. I'm salty that this song will likely never make it into Project Diva because Project Diva is only for Krypton Future Media owned voice banks. But let me tell you guys, this would be such a funky beat in Project Diva. It's also another 10 voice bank song, and let me tell you, the improvement in tuning of the vocals is incredible. I also love the meme references too, and Gakupo looks like a JoJo's character and I absolutely adore it. The story is basically a New York Fashion Week twist on Alice in Wonderland. Len's character is a fashion designer who was bullied constantly. The White Rabbit comes to him and teases him, telling him to chase her in a mocking tone. Len's character goes to New York to become a fashion designer, where he's hired by the Queen of Hearts to create designs for Fashion Week. We cut to Rin's character, who walked down the street only to be hired by Caterpillar Modeling Agency, where Gakupo's character is the Mad Hatter, who owns his own fashion label that rivals Queen of Hearts. So Alice is the title for best model in the fashion industry, and this Alice is rising to the top fairly quickly, and her cute appearance is a major rival for the White Rabbit. Mock Turtle tells her everything will be fine, but it all comes together during Fashion Week. Gakupo designs a beautiful dress, only for it to be stolen by the Mock Turtle and Cheshire Cat. He's mortified because now Alice has nothing to wear for the runway, until she mysteriously had a dress Len's character had. In the end, as Alice kills it during the fashion show and is the new Alice of New York, it's revealed that Alice was actually Len's character who wanted to prove to the White Rabbit that he could be an incredible fashion designer and model. Basically, he's a double threat and he killed it. It's a cute story and a great song. This is the kind of twist I love, and I am a sucker for Alice in Wonderland, which is one of my favorite classic stories. Honorable mentions. These are songs I like, but I wouldn't really put on a top 10 list per se. Trust me, they're really good, and just because they're in honorable mentions, it doesn't mean they're bad or something. It's just not top 10 worthy, you know? The Wolf That Fell in Love with Red Riding Hood. This was one of his first hits as a producer. I mean, it's a good song, but I feel like the male vocals are a little too deep for Len's range, and the story is a little lackluster here compared to literally everything else. Basically, Little Red Riding Hood and the wolf fall in love with each other, but they're never meant to be because of the story of Little Red Riding Hood. It kind of reminds me of Ever After High, actually, which is cool, but it's definitely not my all-time favorite. The song itself is nice, though. Immoral Flower. This song is pretty good, but I'm being completely honest that I prefer the Meiko and Kaito version from his Shuffle 2 album, which remixes his classic songs with different characters voicing it. Rin desperately needed tuning in the original, while Kaito and Meiko are my favorite Vocaloid ship, so maybe I'm just biased. The story is about a cop who goes to a red light district where he sees a popular dancer. He gets super drunk but falls in love with her madly, and the dancer feels the same. They both share a time of passion, but they ultimately realize they can't be together because of their line of work, and they both wish they never met each other because it hurts so much knowing they have to leave each other. They can only hope that they'll meet again and be together someday as they leave each other. I mean, it's got tragic romance, so I definitely like it. Sister's Mercy and Vampire Pathos. As you all know, I absolutely love vampires. I mean, one look at me at all the Halloween shows I talk about on Tumblr and Twitter shows that I am obsessed with the concept of a vampire. So that being said, I do love this song series. The only thing is that I prefer Vampire's Pathos over Sister's Mercy, not only because the video is way cooler than Sister's Mercy, but the plot twist is explained a lot better in the sequel. The song series is about a nun offering tea that grants people wishes, and eventually opens up a cult or church or something where you pray to tea and wish for your dreams to come true. Eventually, everyone in this town is mysteriously murdered in one night, and it's implied in the first song it's the work of a vampire. We assume it's Len's character, but the twist is that Rin's character was actually a vampire who creates cults and churches to gather enough people at one place to get easy food as a vampire. Len's character is a vampire too, but he's a vampire hunter. Think of it kind of like Alucard from Castlevania. In the end, Len's character kills the nun, thus saving the detective who thought Len's character was evil or something. It's honestly great. It just isn't on the actual list, only because this list has been super difficult to write, but I do love this song, so... CataCootie Burst. Now, this is an interesting one. It apparently has a manga and a light novel, but I'm gonna be honest, the songs do a very poor job at explaining the story compared to every song on this list. The song itself is amazing, but Rin and Len desperately needed some tuning. Now, I have not read the manga, and apparently the light novel still hasn't been translated into English, but from what I've read online, the story is about Tsubaki, Rin's character, and Ren, Len's character. They grew up together in an orphanage where Tsubaki was taken to be part of an experiment by some terrorist group or something like that to be a ruthless assassin when Ren works for the government to stop these terrorist assassin things. They clash and talk about how they don't want to kill each other, but Ren has to because of his duties and Tsubaki because she's been brainwashed all to hell. In the end, she stabs Ren, but we don't actually know if he lives or not. Apparently, it's implied through a Pixiv exclusive doujinshi made by the artist and one of my favorite Vocaloid artists, Suzunosuke, that he might be alive, and Tsubaki got like unbrainwashed, but it is super unclear. Genealogy of Black, Red, and White. It's basically retelling of Snow White, except that the prince was like more in line with the original fairy tale, and Snow White herself snapped from everything and decided to start a war to kill her evil mother. It's actually pretty nice. I like how Lily sounds here, you know, it's incredibly rare to hear Lily in a song. But overall, it's okay, not the best. Soundless Voice, an absolute classic. This was Hitoshizuku-P's first hit on Nico Nico, which kickstarted his career as a Vocaloid producer. Like a lot of producers' first hits, it's a little rough around the edges. Personally, I would have used Kaito, VY2, or Gakupo for this song, solely because this has a really deep range, and you can really hear Len struggle with it in the first verse. Other than that, this song is pretty great, and the story is depressing as always because Hitoshizuku-P doesn't believe in happy endings. The story is about Len's character being Rin's character's caretaker. She's dying, and Len's character is depressed about it, and when Rin finally succumbs to her illness by dying in a pile of snow, because we have to get as anime as it gets, Len laments over her death and deeply regrets that he never told her he loved her. Pretty sad, but you all know me. I love angst. And now for number 1, the moment you've all been waiting for. Number 1, Seasonal Feathers. This is easily the most tragic and beautiful Vocaloid song I've heard. Yes, I know there is more tragic and more beautiful than this, but in my personal opinion, this song is truly gorgeous in every way. From Rin and Len's soft voices singing together in harmony and the sweet melody expressing their character's love, to the passion near the end as Rin's character fights to save her husband. The story is apparently based off an old folktale story in Japan about a crane who is saved by a farmer, but she falls in love with him and turns herself human, where they fall madly in love and get married. Yet a year into their marriage, he falls deadly ill and won't make it until the winter without medicine. He's just a farmer, so she uses her ability as a crane to make feathers and makes fabric to sell to desperately try and buy medicine for him. All the while he's telling her how much he loves her and that she's beautiful no matter what. Even if she lost everything, he'd love her. This culminates when winter arrives, when she sacrifices her final feather, where Len's soul tells her that he knew she was the beautiful crane like always and he'll love her. It's unknown if he survived and she stayed human, he lived and she turned back into a crane, or if they both died, but it's overall a beautiful story about unconditional love for someone and their unconditional love in return. While it ends tragically, it's beautiful in how this song shows how much their characters deeply loved each other, and what true love really means. Not gonna lie, when I first heard this song and truly looked at the lyrics and I heard, all of it, I cried like a dumbass. But this song solidifies Hitoshizuku-P as one of my favorite producers in the community. Rin and Len sound really great here too, even if personally I do prefer the Kaito and Meiko version, just because, as I said, Kaito and Meiko is one of my biggest Vocaloid ships, so hearing my favorite ship sing one of my favorite Vocaloid songs is just the feels, man. I hope you guys do enjoy the video though. This was a really fun one to do. I just love nerding out about my favorite Vocaloid producers. So let me know down below what you guys think and if you want me to do a top 10 list for any other Vocaloid producers. This was really fun to do, so let me know down below. Hey guys, thanks for watching! If you liked the video, be sure to give it a thumbs up and consider subscribing if you're new. And if any older new subs would like to help support the channel in any possible way, my Ko-fi page is down below in the description along with all of my social media. For any subscribers, new or old, who would like to help with video ideas or maybe just want to talk about anime or something, then I have a fan server linked down below. See you next time!